Hey everybody, this is Ron Taylor with the Roughcut overview. Today we're looking at Romans chapter 4. I just want to point out some things here. If you look at verses 1 through 4, it says, Abraham did nothing but believe. He didn't work to attain to a relationship with God. He was called the friend of God because he believed God, and it wasn't because he worked for God. Verses 5 through 8, there's no record of sin to those that are living righteousness by faith. David talks about this. He says, blessed is the man whose iniquities and sins are covered up and completely buried. Blessed is the man whom the Lord will not impute sin. Think about that. Don't just gloss over that. Think about it. Will not impute sin. He's saying, blessed is the man who has such a relationship with God that what he does has already been taken care of. All of his mistakes, all of his failures, all of his frustrations, they've all been eliminated in Jesus Christ as far as God's concerned. And the only reason why they're bothering us is because we haven't caught up to what God already knows about us. What God knows to be true about you is more important than what you believe to be true about yourself. He made us. We didn't make ourselves. He knows more about us. He knows more about what's on the inside of us, who's on the inside of us, and the power that is there. So in verses 9 through 12, the act of circumcision wasn't an exclusion. It was a symbol for Abraham of the righteousness that he had by faith, and it's to make him the father of circumcision to those that are circumcised and those that are uncircumcised, because the root of circumcision isn't the physical act. The root of circumcision is believing God. So that was how he received circumcision. It wasn't before he believed. He received it after he believed, and the circumcision was a symbol or a seal. Verse 13 through 16, he reminds us that our inheritance is by faith. We don't inherit by works. In the natural, we don't inherit by works. We inherit because we are who we are. Your dad passes away and he leaves you an inheritance. It's because you're his son. It's not because you did certain work for him. The inheritance naturally falls to the offspring of the one that's passed, and we have an inheritance by faith that we partake in, and it's the inheritance that Jesus left us. Only man ever to die, then come back to life to probate his own will. Think about that. Verses 17 and 18. I want to point out Abraham is declared to be the father of many nations. Again, don't lightly gloss over that. Say, oh yes, father of many nations, as many as the sand of the sea, as many as the stars of the sky. So shall your descendants be. He said many nations. This is not exclusivity. Although he's talking about his offspring, I want you to pay attention to the fact he says, out of your offspring comes many nations. Multiple times the law and the prophets refer to the Gentiles, inclusion, not exclusion. And tradition will tell you the opposite, but sometimes it's better just pick up the word and take it in for yourself instead of having someone else do your study for you. Never let someone do your research. Always do your own research. Verses 19 through 25, he's talking about righteousness by faith and how that applies to us and how we live out of that righteousness. And the example of Abraham, the father of faith, and the things that he went through and experienced while he was standing in faith, as we say, he said no amount of negative circumstance made him waver or go in unbelief. It said he was, in verse 21, he was fully satisfied that God was able to keep his promise. When we reach full satisfaction, it doesn't matter what happens. It could look like there's a bazillion pounds of force against our receiving. When we are fully satisfied, like coming out of a huge meal, you're fully satisfied. When you are fully satisfied that God is able to keep his promises, you can't help but live out of rest. You can't help but live out of a position of trust. You can't help but have a little smile on your face because you know that God's going to work this thing out no matter what it is. And for this situation, it was two barren people whom God said would give birth to nations. And I'm telling you, God gives you a word, you can take it to the bank. He will make his word come to pass. The word says he watches over his word to perform it. So he's fully able. Abraham experienced a full satisfaction that God was able to finish what he said he would complete. And for us in the New Testament, we are promised that he will finish the work in us. And that work is a revealing and unveiling of Jesus Christ in us and all that he's accomplished on the cross and is living on the inside of us, all that is living on the inside of us, all that his provision has made place for and given us, all of that revealed to us in the span of our lives. As we seek him and trust him, we experience full satisfaction. All right. See you next time.